I started this business at 28. I didn't have resources. I had kidogo savings here. I went to the bank, told them I have this paycheck. I have this dream. It's not like you need millions of money. It's just a fear that this thing cannot be done by us. It's expensive. There are permits that we can't get. It's very hard to get these things. But when I went down and did my due diligence, and no, this is the same permits. Even then, they even pay more higher price for the permits than us. It's easier for us to invest as locals, as Africans in our land than it is for foreigners, but we're choosing not to. Seeking that perfection to start. I've always had that. Even this one, I struggled to start. I had a vision for this 3 years before, but I was waiting for it to be perfect. So that day when I was told he's gone, and I was like, I should have done it immediately. Whatever I want to say or do, I'll do it now. Even if I'm not ready, I'll perfect it. I'll start scared and we'll figure it out as we go. But I won't be scared and then wait for perfect. It will never come. I used to go to these hotels. People are being charged 30, 40. I've gone and I've paid this amount of money. It's a lot. I had a very specific niche that I wanted to serve. If you have your 5,000, 6K, you can experience Amboseli without paying 30,000. You're getting the luxury of a nice bed, and you can cook for yourself, or you can get your food. It's like an Airbnb in the wild. Yes. It's cozy and warm and nice.
And the views.
And the views.
When I first met Mwihaki, one thing immediately stood out. She is a risk taker. And the interesting thing is, this life she's living now was not always the plan. For a very long time, she had been carrying this idea in her mind, wanting to build something in nature, wanting to create a space people could escape to. But like many people, she kept postponing it. Then in 2021, she lost her brother. And after that loss, she says her entire perspective on life changed. She started questioning a lot of things, especially the idea of constantly waiting for the right time to do things you deeply want to do. And the truth is, sometimes that perfect time never comes. So she made a decision that honestly would scare a lot of people. She leased 3 acres in Amboseli. Yeah, leased, not bought. And obviously that came with a lot of uncertainty, questions and risks. And honestly, we are going to have a real conversation on this one. How do you lease land properly? How do you make sure you are not conned? What happens if the landowner changes their mind later? And how do you confidently invest millions into land you technically do not own? Anyways, away from the legal process and the business side, what really inspired me about Mwihaki is how honest she is about what it actually takes to make such a huge life decision. Today, these beautiful cabins you are seeing on your screen sitting in the middle of Amboseli are proof of what can happen when someone stops overthinking themselves out of their own dreams and finally starts. And trust you me, if you have ever wanted to build something, invest in land, start over, lease, or simply take a chance on yourself, this conversation will teach you a lot. I hope you enjoy it. Let's listen in.
My name is Mwihaki, Mercy Mwihaki. I'm first a mom, I'm a project manager, and most importantly, I'm an adventure girl. And those adventures led me to Ole Mayan.
Ole Mayan.
Yes, Ole Mayan, Amboseli cottages.
Amboseli.
Yes.
Let's start with, what does Ole Mayan mean?
Ole Mayan, in very loose translation,
Yes.
is highly favored in Maasai. So it came from, I feel like the life that I've lived, to the 31 years I've lived right now, I feel like I've had a very special favor, and I wanted it to be embodied in the first business venture that I did.
Oh, love
so
that.
I wanted a name that resonates with the community, so I translated it into Maasai.
Highly favored.
Highly favored.
God, we are going to get into that.
Yes.
But as always, I want to start the conversation by thanking you for even allowing us to come and have this conversation in your space. I just took a mini tour, and you have absolutely beautiful, beautiful spaces, from the tents to the wooden cabins. Like everything about this place is so cool and so therapeutic, and I don't take it for granted that you just imagine Lynn sitting here having this conversation with you. That is not something I take for granted. But before we get deeper into your conversation, we do have a theme on the platform. We are talking about reclaiming our identity through the soil. Could you tell us what that means to you or for you?
Okay, so I'll just take you back kidogo. My identity, I've been questioning my identity for the longest, since I was a teenager. So I have always been like a high scorer. Class 8, performed top of my class, was 99 in the country, 431. And then I went to high school. I went to Pangani Girls. I was intake 2, meaning I was the second highest to be admitted. But since I joined that school, I'd never been above 150, number 150. The first day, the first exams, I was number 216 out of 264. So my identity, since growing up, I was this high scorer, ni mimi na perform, ni mimi na excel. Coming to Pangani, it was a different ballgame. There were very bright students. So I questioned, kwani I'm not bright anymore? And the entire high school, I have been questioning, am I not bright? I joined different clubs to try and validate myself into my career. So I struggled a lot with my identity until I lost my brother in 2021.
Oh, sorry.
So that's when I sat down, looked at the life that I've been living. I've just been cruising, trying to hang on to different identities first, the high performer, the different clubs, getting into jobs, trying to be the best salesperson, trying to be the best project manager, being the high achiever. And I never got to be like extreme, the achievement that I got when I was in class 8. I never got there. But now after my brother passed on, I slowed down. I asked myself, was I the best sister? Did I do the best? In that moment where he was admitted for like 4 days, the last day when we were told that, I really questioned what I had done as a big sister to be the best sister. And there were so many questions. The fights that we had, maybe we would have fought less. Maybe we would have gone to we had a Masai Mara trip. I kept cancelling it. I never did that. So I really questioned myself and who I was after my brother died. So after, it was a wake-up call. So I said, I will start living intentionally. I had never told my brother, I love you. Like, Leon, I love you. I didn't. So I decided that same day he passed on, that day in Kenyatta, I decided I'm going to live intentionally with the people that are there. I went on my first solo trip 2 months after, took my entire family to Masai Mara. And then from then, I sat down. I have a daughter. She's 9 years. Before that, I think I was just cruising through motherhood. But after 2021, I sat down. I decided I want to intentionally raise my daughter. I want her to have a memory, a very good memory of me being a mom. And I want that to be very intentional. I just don't want to cruise through it. So I started living intentionally as a mom, as a daughter, with my families, different. I started going on adventures. And from there, I wouldn't say intentionally through the land, but that's when I started living intentionally for myself. And also started to slow down and looking what is important to me. Titles were important for work, different things were important, but now I grounded myself. This is what is important. This is how I'm going to live my life intentionally. And through that, the different career paths and the different choices I made, they led me to Ole Mayan.
Oh, man, you know, I wasn't ready for this part of your story. Honestly, I was not ready. And you've just mentioned something that a lot of people struggle with, especially your class 8. I don't want us to just... I want to address it because that is a challenge to so many people. You achieve when you're in primary school, and then when you go to high school, life completely changes. And you are left wondering, kwani who am I? Why do we do that? Why do we let grades and this whole achiever perception, why do we let it define us so much? And if you were to go back, what would you wish those who were around you would tell you about life and wins and losses?
So I think now, knowing better, I know where that came from. So when I achieved, when I was number 1, I used to number 1, 2 or 3. When I achieved, I remember my mom being very proud, telling me, congratulations, and unabaiwa chipo, munapelekwa out. I remember the congratulation and I'm proud of you being associated with me being number one.
The validation.
The validation. And I used to feel nice, like I am the girl who will make my mom proud. And she used to say, I'm proud. Dad says, I'm proud when I was that. But I remember there was a time when I did my mock exams for class 8. I dropped to, I think, number 8. I don't remember. I think there was silence. I was told, no, you can do better. But I associated success with love. That's when I felt most loved. And I don't know, my parents didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah.
That was their way of encouraging me to work hard. But now that I know, I remember associating me being loved by me achieving. It's like I'm buying my love. I have to achieve for me to be loved.
Yes.
Same for high school. Going, okay, I'm not performing well. Why do my parents love me? They still love me. They never showed me that they didn't love me. But already I've associated success. I have to succeed and be number one to be loved. But they love me regardless.
Yes.
I later understood that after we lost my brother. They told me, I love you. Hata ukose kuleta kutujifanyia whatever, we still love you.
Yeah.
So that I think now that I'm raising my daughter, I know better. When she performs well, I love you and you've done me proud. When you've not achieved maybe my expectation, I still love you. You're my daughter regardless of these successes. So that is what I'm doing better for my daughter, because I know that is what I associated my success with love. And that is where kulikuwa na makosa kidogo. And it's on me.
Yes.
Maybe my parents didn't
I don't
know
even
better.
think parents know better. I honestly think maybe now when they look back, or when some get to listen to this conversation, then it's going to hit them.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I need to do better. But sometimes I think they just do it from a place of love, but they don't realize what you're doing is building our entire identity. Because man, even for me, that was such a struggle. If I was not number one, I used to beat myself up like, man. Or even if I'm number 3, because I used to also be like 1, 2, 3. Or if I would fail mathematics, trust you me, I would,
And the fact that you always have to be the best, like you don't have to be the best at everything. I went to Pangani, I was with Coach Susan in the same class. She used to perform all A's and I'm like, why can't I get 100 A's? But I was doing very well in other things. We have different strengths. There are people who are very smart book-wise, but me, I believe I'm street smart. I was good at making connections. I was good at these co-curriculum activities, but I didn't see it as a strength. I was just, I need to get 100% like Susan. I need to get this 100% in geography. I need to be a lawyer. I need to be this. But I had other strengths that I was not focusing on, and they were not highlighted when I was small. Academics, this is what you need to succeed, and this is the only way.
Are you doing that with your daughter? Are you looking at her and just realizing maybe she's just gifted in different other things? Are you nurturing that?
Yes, but I also catch myself being my mom sometimes.
And you're like,
yes, you still need to get your grades to a good place. At least a good place. But also, when I catch myself trying to compare, because I sometimes compare, I see people have gotten this, why can't you? Then I remember, no, she's very good at public speaking. Because I'm not very good at public. She's very good at public speaking. There was campaigns. She might be a politician because there were campaigns in school. She ran a very strong campaign and she was elected as governor of the entire school. She was elected. Ile campaign ilipigwa kwa hiyo nyumba. So she's able like that, and she has some artistic nini to her. So I encourage her. I expose her to different activities, sports. She likes swimming. Take her to that. I'll just throw everything, whatever sticks. But also academics is important. So I'm trying to find a balance. So I don't want her to feel like academics is not important and you can't achieve the highest. Have that if you can. Well and good. But if you come back with less than what my expectation is, it's fine. You are able differently, and I'm going to support you regardless of the path that you're going to take. And also show her it's not just academics. It's important to have academics, but all these other things can be spaces that you can thrive.
Are equally important. Thank you for sharing that. Allow me to touch on something else. You said you missed even a trip to Masai Mara with your brother or your family, and you are like, maybe let's get more money, etc., etc. Because that's also a challenge to so many people. You always think tomorrow is when I will have more money or more time, or tomorrow is when I can do it, and we don't realize, unfortunately, today could be our last day with each other. What did you learn from that?
So when we were told by that doctor, I remember clearly her face. She told me he's no more, and all those questions came in. We were to go to Masai Mara 2 months ago. We didn't go. We had postponed it like 3 months into. we would have gone, even that budget we had, we would have found somewhere. I just wanted it to be perfect, seeking that perfection to start. I've always had that. Even this one, I struggled to start. I had a vision for this 3 years before, but I was waiting for it to be perfect. So that day when I was told he's gone, and I was like, I should have done it immediately. I should have told him that I loved him every single day. My parents, I need to do whatever I want to say or do. I'll do it now. Even if I'm not ready, I'll perfect it. And that's what I've been doing even with this, with Ole Mayan. I'll start scared and we'll figure it out as we go. But I won't be scared and then wait for perfect. It will never come. Even now, we are not perfect. Maybe even those 2 months would have been there. I would have postponed and said, maybe tuongeze budget kidogo, tuongeze tuende a nicer, fancier, tungoje, calendars zikose kualign. You will never be ready. Start scared and just figure it out. No one has figured out anything. Just figure it out as you go, but just do it scared.
I think I'm a victim.
Just do it scared.
Me, I think I am a victim. I know even there's someone watching this and they're like, umesikia. You're like, I feel like you have to wait for things to fall in place, and sometimes
life is fleeting. You don't right now, Lynn, you don't know if you'll get to tomorrow. You don't know. No, it's not guaranteed. God forbid, you might just something happens. But right now you can tell me I love you. You can tell me something and I'll remain with it forever. Like right now is what is promised. Hiyo ingine ya kesho kutwa, it's just praying and being hopefully, and then leave it.
But I gotta extend a bit of grace to myself. I think I'm trying. It's not easy sometimes because you want things to be perfect, but I know deep down I've made a couple of steps towards the right direction. So I think I kind of have to extend grace to myself, right? Now let's get to this beautiful place. And one of the things I really loved about your story, even as I was going through the brief, is how you are intentional you are about this space. And now I kind of get where that is coming from and the things that have really inspired you to get here. Could you walk us through this? Right now we are seeing a lot of finished projects, a lot of beautiful rooms, great decor, beautiful spaces, but as we always say, every story has that one moment you decided, let me start. Every story has a beginning. Could you walk us through yours?
Okay, I'll take you back kidogo. So I've always been someone, lazima nikuwe na ka side hustle somewhere. From when I started working at the age of 18, I never did one thing. I was working at one of our big telcos. I had that job, but I was doing something on the side. Same, I went to my other job, was doing my 9 to 5, but I always had something on the side. I don't know, it's a sense of I'm not secure enough with just this one, and something my mom always put in my head. Kuwa na yako. You're building someone's gym, but have something that is yours. In case this drops, you always have something. From 18, I used to go to the office in that telco. Friday, I go to Uganda, buy some nguos. Ladies started with ladies, then did gents. Nikona gents wanalipa pesa mzuri kushinda ladies. So I did that at the telco. I also did that. I did a bit of design. Nikona it requires a lot of time, but I'm also very passionate about the job that I was doing. So I dropped it. And then there was someone I was seeing at the time, around 2019. He invited me to his place. So we were just seated like this in the living room. Then he had a 3-bedroom. I saw a lady coming out from one of the rooms. I was like, okay, well, what is going on here? He told me that is a guest. What do you mean a guest? What do you mean a guest? We are here. We are a couple. What do you mean you have a lady guest in the other room? So he told me there's this thing called Airbnb. He sat me and explained to me, so you can have a house, rent it, furnish it, you can live in one room and sublease the other 3 rooms. So I didn't understand. It was I think that was 2019. Airbnb was very new. So I didn't understand the concept. He brought out his phone, showed me his booking. He was paying rent, I think, of 100,000. But the money he was making in the first figure, so it was upwards, it was around 20, na alikuwa ameingiza already 4,000 USD. 4,000 USD, and that has been cut Airbnb's commission. So he told me you can have a house, sublet it. There are people coming in from Maju. They want a place to stay, and they don't want to stay in hotels. They want where they can cook for themselves. And that was pre-COVID. Before now, people lock themselves out. So he told me, just think about it. You can just take a room. You can start with a bedsitter. That's the first time I had bedsitter, not a studio, not bedsitter. Bedsitter. So now I'm in studio. What is a studio? So akaniambia, you can get a studio, put rooms. You don't have to start with a 3-bedroom like me, but you can start with a studio. Again, he passed on in 2021. That after he passed on, he used to tell me every single time, you can start, but I felt I'm not ready, I don't know enough, I don't know, I need you. He told me, just nunua furniture, weka nitakusaidia. Then he passed on as we're having that conversation. So I was like, why did I wait for him to go? I think a month after he passed on, I was like, I need to now do this. First, I was doing it to honor the conversation, but in retrospect, I think I wanted to do it even with him. So I was grieving him through starting this business. So that's how I started Airbnb. So I did it for 2-3 years. That was 2019, 2020, COVID came and it blew up. So I was making good money. I'm hosting and I'm still doing my 9 to 5. So I have a 9 to 5 Airbnb and I have a housekeeper. So morning hours when I'm going to the office, pass through the Airbnb, look at that everything is okay. I have my app, I'm managing everything online, and then jioni nikipita, if there's any customer issues, I pass, say hi to the guests. So it was very doable. I was working in Westlands. My first Airbnb was in Kileleshwa. So it was on my way going home. So it was very easy to manage. Put the second one and the third one. So it was easy until 2020. COVID came and biashara ikaendelea kuboom. Like COVID was the peak and we were making really good money. So I saw this is a viable business. So 2020, we started getting these cases of people falling off, being thrown out. Airbnb started getting a bad PR. A lot of Airbnbs started coming up in Kilimani, Kileleshwa. Saturation came in, so we had to reduce prices. So I started projecting. So if we are doing this bad, our profits have started reducing to 20, 30, 40%. In the next 2 years, it's going to be really, really bad. So I started looking for plan B. And this was actually the plan A. Back here, before I started the Airbnb, my dad has like a small plot, 100 by 100, up at Tukimana, close, there's a river passing by here. So before I started the Airbnb, as I told you, I've grown up in Amboseli. Every Christmas, we come to Sopa Lodge, tunaenda swimming hapo. So hospitality and tourism was always in my head from a very young stage. And I used to ask my grandfather, watu wanakuja na these Land Cruisers, what are they coming to? So he used to take us to the park. So they're just coming from other countries to pay a lot of money to just come and see elephant that we are seeing every day. Hata kwa shamba inakuja inang'oa mandizi. They're just coming to see. And they're paying a lot of money. And then we go to Sopa Lodge, we see the hotels, we see the rooms, and then I ask, how much are they paying? Unasikia 30,000. 30,000 to just sleep in this room and to go and see an elephant. So the idea was put in my head very earlier on, and also in campus I selected, but I didn't do tourism. But now in 2019, I had told my dad, let me put I have some two rentals back at home in Nairobi. Kaambia sinijaribu kuweka two rentals hapo, hawa wazungu wanakuja waingia hapo, unione kama wataniachia, hata kama si pesa mingi, hata ka 5k ile wataniachia tu. But then when we went and sat down with my dad, akaniambia, I told a few other people, another danger of telling too many people your dream. I got discouraged. That was 2019, before I started the Airbnb. But it's not viable. And it was an Ephraim. I remember there was an Ephraim in somewhere in Tigonyo, Limuri. I'd seen that and I was like, I want to put that hapo kwa shamba ya babangu. They discouraged me, so I left it, and I was told, try a safer bet. You have someone already in the industry that can hold your hand, and you will learn the tourism, the hospitality, the accommodation industry first. Learn how to manage these bookings, marketing, before you now go all out, because this you're constructing from scratch. This other one, ikiumana, chukua vitu zako uza, nivo. So that's how I started Airbnb and left this other one. So 2021, when now sales started dipping, PR, no one wants to book Airbnbs. They were scary. And now there's a lot. Kilimani now became the hub of Airbnbs. Now you are charging a 6,000 lomezo. Someone else comes and charge the same 2-bedroom 4,000, 5,000. It's the same thing. Nyumba za Kilimani zinafanana. There's nothing much you're offering, because customer service, again, you're not there to give the customer personal customer service. Mtu ana rent to nyumba. Si kama hapa there's a touch with customer service. You feel the warmth. There it's a house and nothing matters, just the decor, and most of them look the same. So sales started dipping and I started creating. I came back now to this. Tukakuja, looked at this, started now doing my research. Came back, looked at my dad's shamba. I was like, hapa, for the vision that I have in my head, ni mahali utaingia kijiji, you'll meet some rooms. It is ideal, but it's not what I want to put. And then I brought one of my aunties to come to just to bounce the idea off her. Kaniambia, just come. I never thought that this place is accessible to anyone. We've come here, we go to Amboseli, we've gone to Sopa Lodge, Oltukai, AA Lodge, all of them are owned by big players. So in my head, I was like, there's no way I can access land there. So nikasema, akaniambia, just go and ask around. I told my grandfather, so we can go ask around we just see what it takes to own land or even to lease. I didn't know it's possible to lease. So when I told my grandfather that let's just go do like a field visit, he told me, I have friends. I've grown up. He used to stay hapo. Alikuwa anatembea kwenda sokoni miguu kuja. Kanambia, all those are my friends. Tutembea, I'm sure they are willing to. There are people who are leasing and there are people who are selling. So let's just go. Even if it's expensive, at least you know the cost. Because the plan was still to put the 2 A-frame cabins there. And there are people who are still, there are few people who've done that and they'll still get market. But the vision that my grandfather specifically told me, the way you've been asking about the tourism industry and what you want, this is not the place. Let me take you, you know the cost, at least ujipange. Hata kama iko juu, hata yakuwa najua how much it would be.
I so love grandpa.
He was pushing me, you can do this, just to go, it's not impossible. So he brought, that day we just did, tukakuja na gari yake, a very old pickup ya yellow. We just went until the park gate, tukiangalia mashamba. We didn't ask. Akaniambia all this, akanionyesha there are people wanalima hapo, mmepatana na nyanya. Akaniambia these people have leased. Akanionyesha another property, these people have leased, they're not owning, and they are Kikuyus, Taita, like from different all tribes. Walks of Kenya. So you can come and lease, it is possible. So he planted the idea that you can lease from there. And also a while back, I had gone to Champagne Ridge. Different cottages in Naivasha, you just find it's foreign owned. I'm like, why are Kenyans not owning these things? And he told me this, I don't own this land, it's leased. The Maasais are very protective of their land. So when you get prime land, it's a bit tricky to get someone to sell it for you, which I completely understand. But he told me, if you don't have the capital, you can lease. So when we did the first visit, I told my grandfather, now that you've said you know the community here and you have friends, chan kupatie 1 month. Nitafutie shamba inakaa hivi na hivi. I was very specific of what I wanted and he understood. Tukaenda Nairobi, tukarudi after 1 month. Hata before 1 month, akanipigia after 2 weeks. Akaniambia, ananitanga Mama Kizito. My shosho is big. So I'm called after Mama Kizito. Yeah, after shosho. Mama Kizito, nimepata shamba. Kwanza niko na 2 prime. Akanitumia moja. The first one was on the other side of the road. But he didn't have a very clear line of sight of the mountain. Kaambia, babu ni mzuri, lakini bado si hiyo. Kaniambia nipatie 2 more days. Ingine naona, lakini bado vile umedescribe ingine bado si yenyewe. Give me 2 more days and then nitakupigia. He called me after 2 days and told me I have now 5 properties. Kuja, don't ask kutumia picha. Come.
Just come.
So he took me to one close to a nyanya farm, and then I didn't like it because it was close to the nyanya, the harufu. Then he took me to another one close to the gate. But a week before, this will sound very churchy, but I dreamt. I know this place very well. I dreamt that tumepata shamba between Sopa Lodge. Sopa Lodge is our neighbor. Between Sopa Lodge and the bridge there that you passed. I remember standing on that land and I could see that signboard and the bridge. I was somewhere in between now where we are. So when I came to Kavuka, I was kind of disappointed because tulipita this part. So the Sopa Lodge, and then we went. It was very like 5 kilometers from the gate. He showed me. It was ideal. That land was ideal. It was flat. There were trees. The way I had explained it to him, I want the mountain very clear. There's no community there. The elephants very close to the park. You can even walk. But I told him, still, this is not it. I didn't know it was not it. Then he brought me to akaniambia as an afterthought. Kuna hiyo rafiki yangu, kuna mali tulikuwa tunacheza when we were very young. He has a land. He's been trying to lease this land, but no one wants it. It has so many rocks. For years, they've been wanting to get something to do with this land. You can't farm, you can't build property. It's going to be very expensive. Kuweka foundation. No one has ever done anything. But let's just go check it. I'm telling you, tuko tumefika hadi huko mwisho. This is what I saw. This is what I want. That same day, sat with the landowner. Now tukakaa chini, akaniambia, first of all, we're not selling this land. Akaniambia, it's possible to lease it very affordably. And I don't know how, in my head, I thought they would tell me like $500,000 for a year. They just told me you only need 10,000.
To do what?
To lease land per month.
Oh.
Yeah.
You lease this place for 10K?
Yes, a full year 100,000. In my head, I was
What's the size?
3 acres.
Whoa.
that rent is half what I was paying in Kilimani, Kileleshwa. 10K hata tuseme kukauke kabisa, I can afford to pay 10,000.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I knew it would be upwards of like 500,000 or I don't know what amount, because I'm building something that is bringing me good income.
Yes.
So like that 10K, and you can negotiate and get it even lower. That is, my mind was blown at that moment. So I told her, and the mzee, very old mzee, he's in 95, 94. Alikuwa na translate. So they want the land and they want to start immediately. So we sat down. So in Amboseli, there are corridors, animal corridors. There's a lot of work going in to preserve this land, and that's why it's very hard to get someone selling it to you. But there's some areas where you can get land that is being sold. But where the animal corridors are, they lease, but there are associations, like circles under these corridors that the landowners are under. So any person who's going to lease land, they have to make an agreement between the association, the corridor, and the lease owner, so that they can approve. There's an approval process first. They evaluate. So hotels, you can't farm, because it will restrict the animals from moving around. So there are very specific rules or things that you can do on the land. Tourism is one that is encouraged.
Yes.
So they approved. They said it's fine, you can lease. It is very affordable to lease. I didn't have the money. Hata wangeniambia ninunue land, Lynn, shamba. It's for an acre, najua wangeniuzia less than maybe 800 ama 1 million. Na nataka kujenga 3 million atoa hapi, na nijenge na nifanye. I couldn't even if they were selling, I couldn't be able to afford to buy and also to
build,
construct. So I was like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for all this. I wish I did this sooner, but this is God's time, and He's aligned everything. And the other alignment, the owner of this land, they were childhood friends with my grandfather. You see those rocks there?
Yes.
My grandfather used to play there when he was young, grazing cattle. The Corridor Association chairman, he's tied to this family. He has family ties to now the wife of the mzee.
Yes.
So the conversations were smooth.
Seamless.
Approvals, I think I had approvals in less than 4 days. Nikaambiwa taenda fanya contracting, enda tuandikia agreement, tafuta lawyer, tulete to sign. It was smooth.
Highly favored.
Yes. Highly favored. So it was very smooth. Nikaenda, that same day we called the guy. Alikuja Sunday, tulikuja Saturday. The chairman now, I think he's a cousin.
Yes.
Akaitwa akaambia kuna mtu ako very, and just land imekuwa bare for long. They didn't know someone would be interested. So they even very happy. Wakakuja tuka-agree something that favors them and me. Tukapatana katikati.
Yes.
Nikapatiwa approval. So enda tafuta contractor. No, not contractor, but lawyer.
Yeah.
They gave me a draft of how the lease agreement looks like for the association, the corridor, and what is required to be put there, the terms and conditions. Got a lawyer, drafted me like a very nice, foolproof agreement. That's very important. When you're doing an agreement, kuna hizi agreement 1 page ya kawaida, you can do that, but you need to protect yourself. You're here for a very long time. Lease ya kawaida inakuanga between 5 to 10 years. I'm leasing for 20 years. I need to be very certain when that mzee, he's almost at his yes. So vijana wakikuja want to be secure. Let's say the sons come in. Yes, we have a good relationship, but things change. Mtu anaweza kuja one, you're doing well and I want that land back. You know, in that agreement you umeandikiana kwa chief is not enough. It will not hold water in court. So the lawyer that I got advised me, yes, you've done an agreement. You have an official approval from the association and the owner, signed, stamped. I deserve. That is step 1. Step 2, go to the Ministry of Lands. Register. There's something called registering a list. A lot of people don't know that. They just do the agreement and that's enough. But for like 3-4 years, that's okay. Ni ngumu sana mpate mnakosana within a short period of time. But when the stakes are high, you're investing a lot of money and a long time, go have an agreement, because they'll require a signed agreement from yourself, the landowner, and if there's an association, sign and stamp and the approval letters. Take them to the list with the original title. They need to be very willing to give you the original title. Ama wakupeleke kwa Ministry of Land. They will go book a board and then your list will be fully registered. So that if I search that piece of any buyer, if anyone searches that piece of that plot number, I am included in that plot, in that title. I am leasing for this amount of years. Even if ownership changes to the sons or whoever, they can't kick me out without the 20 years expiring. And if they kick me out, there's a protection there's a clause, a compensation to recover all my investment and projection to the 20 years.
Oh,
So you have, even if I'm doing a business, I'm also want to benefit the community, but I need to protect myself.
You know, I can bet a lot of us did not know that.
Yeah.
A lot of us did not even know after you lease land.
Yeah.
You now go to the Ministry of Land and you can be added kwa hiyo title.
Kwa original title.
Kwa the original title.
Yes, you can.
Where? So what are you telling us? That even when you are leasing land, make sure the person you are leasing from is able to give you the original title.
Or accompany you physically to there are those who might be a bit apprehensive to just give you the title.
Or
accompany you. Not a copy, the original title. You have to go, like here it's Kajiado. Went to Kajiado, they were very happy to give me, nikaenda registered, and the title nyuma yake nimeandikwa hapo, original title. They have to be very willing to do that. And there are people who are skeptical now, the landowners, umeongezewa kwa title, do you want to steal land from me? Kuna wale watakata.
Yes.
So you also have to be very keen as you're doing the negotiation. Tell them, I need to register my lease. Are you okay with it? It will require me. We'll fill this form. We'll take them there. There is legal fee, of course, which I incurred because now I'm protecting myself.
Yes.
That it doesn't make sense. So I told them, I'm not going to ask you for anything. All the legal fees, all the processes to register this lease, it's on me. All I need from you, just the signatures, the stamp, and nipatie title nipeleke, and I'll bring it back in one piece, and they agreed.
Yes, and I feel like also when it comes to land ownership or leasing, another mistake people make is, see, I know the family, they can't do me wrong. See, I know these people.
Yeah.
So you have to stop assuming.
Yeah, that happens, and also someone can change their mind. Labda nataka, there's something hot cake imekuja kwa industry and they want to reclaim the land and do something else. You are friends, but land inaweza kosanisha watu. They will just wake up and say, no, we did not agree that.
I want my
land. Ni yangu, we rudi kwenu.
Na huko tu, rudi kwenu.
Rudi kwenu, huku ni kwetu, rudi kwenu, this is my land.
Yeah.
Utaanza wapi? You've poured money, millions, utaanza wapi, and you've not protected yourself. That agreement, it's not enough. Consult a lawyer, they will advise you and they will help you process it through the right channels of the Ministry of Land.
Love that.
And it doesn't take a long time. From when I started, I got land in around April. By mid-May, I was starting construction. Now getting the necessary approvals. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I feel like that is one of the most important take-homes from this conversation.
Yeah.
You do your due diligence, of course, even if you know people, but also make sure that your name is there.
It is there. And that due diligence, you have to do it before you even register that lease, even before uchimbe anything. Hata ukilipa, hiyo kulipa, hata usilipe kwanza. Agree on a nice payment plan. I'll pay you this amount. Once I've fully registered the lease and everything has gone smoothly, then I'll pay the rest. Ndio kwa seki, unaweza register lease alafu wakatai.
Yes.
So register the lease and don't start construction before that is guaranteed. Your shamba si yako until you're fully registered as the owner you're basically the owner for the next 20 years or 5-10 years. So before you start anything, start that. Do your due diligence, what is required in that community, because maybe people from Amboseli, Masai Mara, Savo, maybe in the same sector would want to know. It's almost the same. There are associations for conservation that support the community to also conserve their land. Have them involved. They help a lot. Just doing an agreement with just the landowner, it can go south very easily. A third party that's an association for the entire corridor, it's very good, and it's an addition for also you, because you also get other perks. We have guides. We can access different viewpoints here. We have some good add-ons by just being in partnership with this association for the corridors, conservation efforts, and also our revenue also, we channel it we have a certain percentage that we contribute to support the corridor, because it also benefits us. Guests wakikuja, the protection from rangers, we can go view animals for free within the conservation, not inside the park. Huko kwingine we have full access. Ukitaka tu kudrive kwa park na uingie huko, kuna wanyama wengi. If you say you're associated, you come from Ulema, and you do it for free just because we are under that association. But if you're not,
how I'm walking to that park tomorrow and saying I'm from Ulema.
si ndani ya park hapa hivi ndio ukienda ndani ya park utaambiwa
yes, money.
But huko kwingine, just because you're under the corridor, you can access the property and have sundowners, and there are lots of animals. Wanyama wako tu ndani ya park.
Yes.
So many, even lions are outside the park. So nasenga kuna kuanga saa zingine conflicts na community ziko huko. Wanyama wako huko nje, and it's a huge piece of land, like acres and acres of conservation that you can access because you're now in the corridor.
Okay, I appreciate that. Now you start the process in April, May, you've already started construction.
Yes.
Walk us through that, you know, how did you know, whatever it is that we are seeing right now, this is what you wanted to put up. Could you walk us through that, you know, the foundation stages, and also as we continue with the journey, what are some of the mistakes that you made? And now even looking, this is the part I just want to and listen to this story. Looking back, what would you do better, or how does the vision look like for this place?
Okay. So when I now got the lease fully registered, and now we're doing groundbreaking in May. The first thing that I'll start with a mistake. I had not gotten the necessary permits before I started. That's the first thing. I did the leasing part well, but I didn't know. Kwanza, that's a mistake. Government yetu aki. There are so many documentations that you need, and me, I've not been in this space, so I didn't know what. Mi kwa jua the basic, ni construct, then get a business permit, and I start operating. So I didn't know kuna TRA, sijui kuna NEMA, kuna hizi vitu zingine. It's just Airbnbs. I didn't know better. So nikaanza mjengo after nikaona magari tu zimekuja huku za county.
And then they wait for you to start, and then they show up.
Kuna kwanga na spies.
They know something is happening, but they want you to do a bit of work, and then they show
where
up.
You can't go back it, uanze kusema nini. They came, niko naona car after car. Sijui I don't have this permit, you don't have this regulations, you have zingine that were necessary. So I got someone, a neighboring lodge, akaniambia, these are the basics that you need. Pause mjengo. I had gone like 3 or 4 weeks in, so I'm panicking. Naona ni kama kuna wale walikuwa they've started threatening, we'll demolish, you won't continue nini. I panicked. So I stopped, paused, nikaenda talked to the owner there, akaniambia, these are the things that you need. This is a guy, go talk to him, malizana nazo. But for next time, make sure you start with this. So I was told, went and got the necessary certification, and then I continued. That's the mistake number 1. So I got the permit, nikaendelea construction. You've seen there are 2 types of cottages.
Yes.
There is the wooden cottage, and then there is this safari luxury camping tent.
Yes.
Not camping tents, the
luxury tents.
Luxury tents. So I started with the wooden tents. Now that I know better, I would have done the safari tents and not the wooden, but now they serve different clientele. But I started with the wooden tents because I had a vision of how I wanted these cabins to look like. Homey, cozy, rustic. During my research, I looked at all the cabins, Champagne Ridge, Naivasha, sijui wapi, South Africa, where I looked at, and there were these cabins that were cylindrical.
Yes.
They had an open, it's like glass, and then they were standing on tilts, so it was high up. So I wanted something up because to maximize on the views. So it was clear how they looked like, but now I got an architecture, akanitengenezea plan, nini hizo vitu zote, akaniambia, this glass ceiling will not be ideal for your area, and it's going to be expensive. Budget for millionaire. Una pesa yote ya kumwaga hapa, but if you have fine, but I have this much budget, and I even had a third of that money. The rest I was getting a loan to facilitate this. So akaniambia, so you can start with this design and reiterate as you move on. So it was what I had my vision, how the rooms would look like, with a few tweaks. The thing we changed is just the roof. I remember in Makuti from Amboseli, that's even better than the glass. Glass is more futuristic, yes, but this will be more ideal for your cottages. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Okay. Cost-wise, it's fine. Came, mwaga materials, I went, processed alone. I wanted this dream to come to life. I had a third. In my head, I was like, so ngoje tu save pati hiyo ingine. But there was no way I was going to raise that money. Even now looking back, una save, unakula kidogo, unapata expense, una save kidogo. But my mom, since childhood, that's something that I really appreciate about her. She has trained me on finances. From when I started my job first job, she's been showing me how to invest, how to save fast, and then how to invest. So I had some savings, but I knew easy savings azitatosha. Nita save for maybe another 4 years before I got ready. And I told myself, I will not wait for me to be ready. I am employed. I will go to the bank and I want to show them the plan that I have.
Yes.
This is my vision. This is how much I have in my salary account. This is in my MMF as savings. My salary account inaingiza this much month to month. And I was told, a friend in my then job, akaniambia, you can get a loan off of your paycheck. So and then I went, explored, and the amount I was told I was qualified for, I was shocked. I was very shocked that I could qualify for that. So I took the loan, and it was enough now to build this. So I took it, nikakuja, nikamwaga materials, and I knew that amount would be enough to maliza mjengo. Fundi alikuwa amenitengenezea quotation yake, lakini Mungu alikuwa na mipango zingine. That it, I needed like a third or more than that, but my friends came through. So nikamwaga materials, constructed, and it went quite smoothly. After the permits, I think we were done within 4 weeks. All these cottages plus this, within 4 weeks. Hakuna simiti inakauka, so it was fast construct. I had the fundis, and also the fundi that I got, they really understood what I wanted. Unajua kuna fundi unaweza pata unasema huko mwingine like your visions are worlds apart.
A fundi is very important.
Yes. So the head fundi, the one who was now managing the other fundi, understood. Nilimuonesha plan, nikamuonesha the actual construction ilikuwa South African. Nikamwambia ni hii inakaa hivi, but we'll tweak it like this. Do you understand it? We built one cottage. Nikamwambia, let's try with trizex, not this ones, kale kaingine huko. Tutengeneze inakaa rahisi, inakaa, it's doable. Let's see, we learn from it. So vile alitengeneza just the shell, nikaona this guy knows what he's doing. Tusimamishe hizo zingine. So all the 4 now, tukaanza kupeleka pamoja. Within 3 weeks, me now, remember I have a 9 to 5. So mjengo imeanza I live in Nairobi. I'm moving from Nairobi to Amboseli every single weekend, but all the mornings. Asubuhi, now my job naingia kwa office 9. I used to get to the office at 6 a.m. 7, I have a call with the head fundi. We discuss what are your objectives, what are you going to do, nini, everything. Uko na materials zote, nini ilikuja jana. By 9, nimeingia office, they are set. Nikimaliza around 4-3, napigia fundi around 5-6, wamemaliza mjengo. Video call every single day. Mefanya nini? Tulikuwa tunaongea mostly with the foreman, but now fundi ni kuniambia kama kulikuwa na issue hapa. But now you'll get a good, let's say like 60-70% of the feel on the ground. But Fridays nilikuwa namaliza kazi, laptop nafunga by saa 8, naingia gari na kuja. So na spend the entire Saturday as a work day with them, naangalia any adjustments. Friday ni course correct. Hii sikuwa nataka hivi na hivi, Saturday tuna correct. Kile itamalizika within Saturday, and at least now they know hizo zingine mfanye hivi vingine. Sunday mchana Nairobi, Monday niko kwa office. I did that for 2 months. Tukamaliza, and it was good. Like I didn't have major changes. Need to design wood inakaa hivi, badilisha eka hivi. But the general direction of how the mjengo was going, it was going well. But kuna mahali fundi alitoroka. Like the last 3 weeks tukifanya finishing ya this house, he went missing. He got another job. Akashikanisha ni fundis. So delayed.
But fundis we gotta talk.
We need to.
We have to talk.
The last 3 weeks they did me that. Tungemaliza. So
contract, and then they got
they just akapata ka job kangi akasema siwezi acha iende acha this. And it was very critical. This I can't open, the rooms are done. I can't open without this. So akapata kaniambia I'm coming. So tukapata, it costed me some more money because I tried to get another fundi. He was not understanding the design that I want. Nakuja natoa. Nasema okay, tukungoje basi sasa tutadu. I don't have another fundi that I'll get from wherever akuja afanye something. No, I've tried one. I'm not willing to risk. Maliza kuja. Akuja tukamaliza na tukaendelea na tukakosana na tukapendana, na hata ni amenisaidia kujenga ingine. Like you will have to learn to live with the fundis because they're humans, they make mistakes. Sometimes it's funny looking back. They're chasing money same as we are, but they need to do better. They need to do better. But tukamaliza within now kama ange toroko hiyo fundi wetu tungemaliza within within 6 weeks.
Yes.
But we finished a month and a half later. So hakuna mali nakauka. So it went pretty fast. Tukamaliza, did the deco, and we started. And 2 days after, guest akaingia. Me time yote na
2 days after.
2 days after. Hata sikuwa nimemaliza kupiga picha. Like I was taking pictures with my phone. Sikuwa nimemaliza. We just saw a car. Si tuwadhani ni kanjo. Amekuja kuma ni guest. Tuna gari tunauliza na Livia alikuwa ameshakuja. He had come like a week before construction issue and get used to the environment. My manager, yeah. So ananiambia, kuna pickup inaingia vile naona, nikawa sawa amerudi. Nikaingia. Those were the ones that the city council guys used to come with. So tukasema maybe, but we have the necessary things, so let them come in.
Yes.
So kuingia, the 2 Russians, I was like, you guys, we saw like a post up outside there, and we're told there's a new camp coming in. We've not fully set up, but there's a room that you can sleep. But the kitchen is not ready. We don't want food, we just want to sleep. And they slept in that A-frame.
Hey.
And they came back the next day and they got food and they slept. We got our first 2 nights. Hiyo pesa nilipeleka nikataifa immediately. I told God, like 2 days after construction I had guests, and it's been flowing and we've been getting customers and we've not lacked since then. There are high seasons and low seasons of the business, but we've not lacked since then.
Well,
yes.
2 days after.
2 days after. It helped that it was high season. It was around beginning of August. So
yes.
August ni high season. So they just came in. Hata tukua tumemaliza. Una post construction, kuna wood here, kuna katu, vile kuna taka. We had not perfected everything. But they came in and they believed in us and we served them and they gave a 5-star review. And those reviews, we were very new on the platform. I had added the rooms in the platform.
Yes.
My first review, now they started building up to the hundreds of reviews that we have.
Oh.
It was unbelievable.
Highly favored. Wow, man, I have so many questions in my head, but congratulations also getting your client's second day after construction. I think that is every business owner's fear. Will clients come, even in terms of adding the in the different platforms? For anyone running maybe a similar business, could you walk us through some of the preparation you really have to do if you want to conquer in this industry?
Okay, so remember I was in the Airbnb industry for 4 years before now starting this. So I already had a profile that I have been a super host for all those years. So that matters a lot, because if now I open a new property, I'm not starting from zero. The property will have 0 reviews, but I am a super host with a 5-star rating. So the property won't have reviews, but when someone looks at the profile, they will see this is a host. They've been hosting for 4 years. They have had other properties, but this is a new property. So that helped. However, it's not enough just to be a super host. People want to see the reviews on the platform. There are many platforms. There are different platforms that you need to be on to be able to succeed in this business, and not just relying on the online platform, but the ones that are very important to start with, because you need first to start, sell your name, people to know your property, the reviews. Airbnb is a good place to start. Booking.com, there is the trip advisory apps, and also leveraging on the networks of agents. Because this I learned after I started with what was familiar. I was on Airbnb and Booking.com, and I knew how to navigate it. I had Booking.com, I had different awards for being a super host, Airbnb the same. So it was very easy to start and do that. So if you don't know, if you're very new to the business, start with that. Start with your friends. They will book, leave reviews. Then it builds up, because people from abroad or any visitor, you won't come. Most of the guests we get, they're not walk-ins. We have walk-ins, but more than 70% or
it's
even
booked.
80%, it's booked when someone is hundreds or millions of kilometers away. So they're buying whatever they are seeing and the reviews. So your customer service needs to be exemplary. Hii biashara yetu, the client is king. So make sure that you have a good property first of all. Take really good pictures of your property, because that is what you're selling. You're selling a picture. You're selling a property through a visual picture. So do the best. You might have the best of properties, but you've just invest in either hire out a camera, get a professional to take pictures, or if you have a good camera phone. My pictures were not professional. It was just my phone, a Google Pixel 6a, took pictures, uploaded, and those were good enough. Do that, put it on Airbnb, because they're basically selling for you the properties. Airbnb, Booking.com, the others, I can't remember the name properly, but they're like 5. But these are the biggest ones that are being booked in Europe and America. These are the biggest platforms. So start there. Once you start getting the reviews, build up like that, and then now start selling. Facebook is a huge marketplace. Social media, I learned this later. I didn't have a very clear marketing strategy, but at 2 quarters in, I sat down. I am just bringing customers. I'm earning this much, and it was good money, but I have not advertised on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. People are blowing up. So I learned that maybe 2 or 3 quarters in, but immediately I started posting that. It blew up now locally. When I was starting, you remember I was telling you, I used to go to these hotels. People are being charged 30, 40. I've gone and I've paid this amount of money. It's a lot. I had a very specific niche that I wanted to serve. Mtu wa kawaida, I was charging 5,000-6,000 for Airbnb. Someone with the same amount, I want them to experience Amboseli without paying 30,000. If you have your 5,000, 6K, you can experience Amboseli. And there were not a lot of lodges charging that amount. So that was the specific niche that I wanted to address. So I packaged it, had a very good pricing system, put it on Airbnb and booking.com, and whatever needs that this clientele needed, I made sure I addressed. Very good, comfortable spring mattress. Ukitoka park, you come and you can relax here. If you don't want to go to the park, hapa to just staying here, you just want an escape from Nairobi, you can afford it and come and stay here without paying 30,000-40,000.
Yes.
So that is what I was addressing, and in the booking.com it was very specific. This is what you're paying. This is, if you want self-catering, you can cater for yourself, but if you want, we can get a chef. And that is how we now started booking.com. We started getting reviews, good reviews, and they build up. Posting on Facebook, TikTok, all platforms, marketing, use everywhere, every single day. Now we started getting agents coming in high season, wanaona kibao, they come, look at the rooms, they love it. It's a different feel. It's not like the kawaida lodging ya town, and it's not the high end. It's just a nice, sweet in between. You're getting the luxury of a nice bed, and you can cook for yourself, or you can get your food. It's like an Airbnb in the wild. It's cozy and warm and nice.
And the views.
You
have Kilimanjaro
just
right
outside,
in front of you.
Unalala, you can see Kili from your bed.
Yes.
So that was enough, and the agents loved it. So I also reached out to they reached out to me now through the posting I was doing on Facebook.
And you are doing all this. You are doing the marketing.
I'm doing the marketing by myself.
You are the social media person.
Manager, I'm finance, I'm HR, I am everything at that point.
Yes.
Then when Levi now, I started training him pole, posting on socials, Facebook, and also a bit of admin here and there. But now marketing, we split 50% he does, 50% I would do. Then over time he was doing everything. Now I started delegating, and now he can do. I struggled with delegating first, but now over time he showed that he can actually do this, because it's just a post in the morning and that's it. Post on all platforms and that's it. And that's how the agents started coming in, left reviews on the Google as well. So the reviews is what sells it, and also the word-to-word mouth with the agents, and that's it. And now running it remotely, now I am not here 100%.
Yes, that's where I was going.
Yes, I'm not here. I only came here yesterday. 5 days before I left my previous job last year, November, I was doing a 9 to 5, and I was coming here Fridays, leaving on Sunday. All these things, even now, I mostly run it remotely. We have systems in place with the manager where I do daily check-ins, weekly check-ins with the team, stock taking. We have tools that we track that. All this runs remotely. Me, when I come here, it's just look at you. Are you guys okay? Rooms, quality check the rooms, the linens. I don't have to be here physically for the business to run. So we've automated and put processes for most of our operations, and that enables me now to be a very present mom in Nairobi and just come here for like 2-3 days. Kama nakuja vacation, but I'm working.
So the other 5 days, what are you doing?
5 days here?
No, of the week in Nairobi.
I'm just at home.
You're just chilling.
I'm just doing any marketing. Maybe I work for an hour or two, reaching out to agents, sending invoice when he's a bit held up.
Yes.
And then in the morning, I prepare my child, drop her to school, stay at home, do a bit of research, just kidogo research, then maybe sleep the rest of the afternoon, wait for my baby, pick her up, do homework, we sleep by 7-8. That's the life. Slow. Even if I'm in Nairobi, I feel like I started the slow intentional living also for myself mid last year, because I am not rushing. Not mid last year, from November last year. I am not rushing. I'm being who I want to be. I want to be a mom. I'm going on my different adventures. I can wake up and say Wednesday I'm going to Limuru, and I'm going to Samburu. No one will ask me. The business is running functionally. Nothing will burn. I don't have to be here, and I don't have to be like locked in an office.
You're living the life.
I can do it. Yeah.
You're living. How is it like when you come from here to Nairobi? Isn't it a bit, because easy to believe they are so different.
Yes.
When you are here, it's a bit calm.
Yeah.
Of course, that's also a struggle for many people who have to be in Nairobi, because sometimes people want this life, but you have to be in Nairobi because maybe there are things that you're doing. Your life is there. So how is that like for you?
So
and do you plan on moving here completely?
Nairobi for many people is hectic, the traffic. But over the last 3 years, even before starting this, I told you from 2021, I started making sure the life that I'm living is very intentional. Even the place that I moved into, it's a very quiet space. It's outside Nairobi, just a little bit. It's somewhere after Kino, there's a place called Mudhiga. It's a very secluded area. So I decided even where I'm living, even when I don't want the chaos of living in a very congested place. I live in a very quiet place. I don't want a life that I want to escape every now and then. So I started building it because I knew I don't have the resources. I really want to leave Nairobi, but I don't have the resources to live now. So how am I going to make my now more intentional, peaceful right now? Looked for a very secluded place there where we are not too many, a few neighbors, and me and my daughter, we are there. So when I go to Nairobi, I enjoy that space with my daughter. But also now when I get out from my house is nikitoka tu. When I now get into town, the chaos, it's a lot. The stress is, you're always feeling like you're running, it's hectic. But the minute I just make that turn from Emali and just coming into that road, it's like a breathe out. Because now it's like a wide plain, no quiet, no traffic, no buildings, no jam. It feels very peaceful. And when I come in here, I'm also not coming to chaos. The business can, even if I can just stay in my cabin and do nothing. Everything will run smoothly. So that balance, Nairobi, it is hectic, but I've made a small heaven out of my own small space there where I can be fully present. I don't want to escape. Keep saying that I want to escape Nairobi and I can't right now. I don't have means. I'm building towards escaping Nairobi and going to a more relaxed, my own place. Now that is what I want Ole Mayan to build for me. Leave Nairobi, maybe uko Nanyuki, Nyeri, my own place now, because I would have wanted to come to Ole Mayan and retire here, but it's hot. I don't like hot weather. Where I'm living, it's cold, chill. I love the rain, so I want like a highland place. So I'm using whatever God has blessed me with right now to build the future that I want. I may not be able to access it right now, but that is what I'm building to have that life. Ni retire by 40 Lynn. Niende tuniishi na tukuku twangu, kangombe kangu hapo, kabata, tumaziwa. Yes, that is the life I am praying for.
This for everyone that craves that kind of life. But it also comes with admitting it's not easy to get there sometimes. But also I love what you've said. You're intentionally also making sure that where you are living, it's slow, it's very intentional, and you're also not in a rush. So I feel like if people can't have this for themselves, it's important for them to curate a space where that favors them, even in terms of their mindset and the peace of mind. But let's come back to this, because you are running, we were having a side conversation and we were like, wow, yes, as Africans, we can own this, we can do this, this can be us. How does that make you feel?
So I go by the name Adventures by Mwihaki on all my platforms. So that came from 2021. I started touring this country and even going Ghana, Nigeria, everywhere. So when I was traveling, I never used to book hotels. I used to book Airbnbs. Now I've been exposed. There are Airbnbs that I cook for myself. Anywhere I go, I find it's a foreigner, especially in our country. I go to Champagne Ridge, I go to Naivasha, it's a foreigner. I go this place, it's a foreigner. I used to ask myself, why is this foreigners investing? This is our land. Coming back here, we have our local communities, they're Maasai, but coming to these lodges, they're foreigners. Why are we not investing in our land? What is it? So I researched. It's just a fear that this thing cannot be done by us. It's expensive. There are permits that we can't get. It's very hard to get these things. But when I went down and did my due diligence, and no, this is the same permits. Even then, they even pay more higher price for the permits than us. It's easier for us to invest as locals, as Africans in our land than it is for foreigners, but we're choosing not to. It's just, I don't know what fear that is, but I'm here to validate you with your land, or even if you don't have a land, you can get a land, you can buy, and you can even lease and do this and have a beautiful lodge as an African and as a local. And it is very possible. It is not very far out of reach that we imagine. It's just what we're talking, whatever they're coming and investing in a land and we can't. It is very possible. It's doable. If you can get someone to guide you or advise you how to do it, you can do it easier. But just a basic Google research, Lynn, can tell you how you require, what you need, what are the permits you need, and the rates. And it's very possible. We can't wait for people to come and invest in our land and reap all the benefits. Hiyo tumepitwa na wakoloni. These are our resources. Why are we not? People are paying millions to come and invest here. It's not like you need millions of money. Mimi, I started this business at 28. I didn't have resources. I had kidogo savings here. I went to the bank, told them I have this paycheck. I have this dream.
Give me a loan.
Give me money. I need, let's not wait for people to come and invest here. I may not have everything figured out. Just support me. Give me this loan. This is my vision. Believe in me. I am willing to execute, and this is the dream. And they did. The bank, they gave me the facility, and I've been able to pay that loan fully. And now the business is running, and I've invested back home. I'm from Amboseli. I feel so proud saying that I have a business, thriving business in my motherland. I want this for a lot of Kenyans, a lot of Africans, that we are reaping our own resources. Guys are coming from continents to come and see these elephants. Let's invest in our business, in our lands. Wherever you are, Nanyuki, Nyeri, wherever, the land that you have, you can get something out of it. It doesn't matter. It can be agriculture, it can be rent, whatever you want to invest in. Let's invest back in our lands. And this tourism industry, it's not just for foreigners. I was 28 starting this. I didn't have the resources. I didn't know how to, and I'm doing it. I started afraid, learned on the way, and I'm thriving right now. But all thanks to God.
Amen. Amen. You know, I think the awakening the country needs is coming from young people. Man, I'm just meeting young people who started afraid, but they started anyway. I think there's a bit of trauma, especially in millennials, that, I don't know what will happen to us, but
what ifs.
The what ifs.
A lot of what ifs. Question yourself, what if we are, this is something that I go by, we always say, what if it goes wrong? You're always on the negative side. I used to tell myself, what if it succeeds? What if it works out and it gives me the life that I've always dreamt of? Focus on what if this happens. Either way, if the negative comes, it will come. So focus on the positive and tell yourself, what if it works out? What if it becomes the best decision I've ever made? And if it doesn't, you have your learnings, pick up and move on.
And move on to the next stage.
But don't start afraid and figure it out. Don't wait for perfection to start. Start afraid, figure it out. It's very doable. That is my punchline. It is very doable for everyone, for the youth, for whatever stage that you are. Don't be scared just because you're young, you don't have the finances. Start. You don't have to own the land, you can lease it. It's cheaper. You don't have to have all the money figured out. There are financing options that you can explore. So just start. Just start. Now you boost Mungu. Mungu akiona, when God sees that you have that motivation to start, he will garner all his angels, he will find ways to align you to the right people. I have seen alignment and favor throughout this business, and I'd say that's why I called it Olema. And Mungu alijua to that I needed that alignment, and I started, and he aligned everything, from the permits to the land, to running the business, to getting me this manager that is he holds this business, and to the support team that I have, my staff. It's basically alignment, and I'm very grateful.
Walk me through that, man. I met your project, not the project manager, but the manager. I met Levi, and he's such a nice person to have a conversation with, And, when I was talking to him, I even thought he's skilled at the hospitality industry, only to find out, manze, he's also learning, and he's doing amazing. When you check out your reviews, people are always commenting about this place and the wonderful services, because again, what fails the hospitality industry need the services that that are provided.
Yes.
I think there is a gap, because sometimes you will go to a restaurant or a lodge, you'll go to nice places, but you will never go to those places again because the service sucked.
Yes.
Or maybe the food sucked, or the reception sucked.
bad,
How do you make sure that, you are top notch when it comes to that?
Okay, so my team, apart from the chef, no one else, even myself, no one has a background or training in hospitality. But learning from the Airbnb, I knew customer service is king. The customer is king. So you have to be you might have the best Airbnb, you might have the best hotel, but 2-3 reviews will sink your business. So that was very important. So I needed to get people who are very customer centric. So Levi is another story, how we met, how he came to now be the manager. I count it as a blessing and also alignment. So the rest of the team is also young people, very young, 19 and 20, and Levi is also in his mid-20s. I want to empower young people. The way you go unaambiwa sijui you want 5-10 years of experience just to do a very entry-level job. I knew what is important. I need someone who's very warm, open to learning, and they can engage well with customers. That was my bare minimum. And I wanted to empower the community, because I'll bring someone to help me manage, but the rest of the staff, I wanted them to come from the community. So I just started with the landowner. Do you have a girl who can do housekeeping? Housekeeping is just washing, making sure it's neat. A few design they've learned on the go. You see those design you see on the towels? They didn't know. We looked at YouTube videos. These are things you will see on YouTube videos. We have trained. I didn't train them. At their own volition, walienda YouTube, looked at videos. They said these are things that we need to try. Wow. They ran housekeeping by themselves. So they're very autonomous. Housekeeping is yours. Laundry is yours. Whatever you need to do, I will support. Tell me what you need. This is what you need to know. These are the utilities. These are the things you need. Tell me, I'll buy them. Learn and tell me how I can support. So that is how we've been running. Kila mtu department yake. Do your research. Let's learn together. I will share my knowledge. You share yours, and we learn together. So that's how we've been growing. And they have different visions. Levi wants to be a tour guide as he's growing, and he's starting to train on that. Yes. When we're taking guests to game drives, I give him an opportunity to go with the guide. He learns, because I can't have him for the rest of his life. I want him to grow, and if anything I do on this planet is to make sure that he achieves his dream, I'll sleep comfortably in my coffin and say I made him achieve his dream. So anything I can empower him,
you do that.
I do that. Same to the housekeeper. There are two who want to do tour guides, but they've not done any training. So when they're off, there are online classes that they attend, and we're also looking at a plan. There's one that they need to attend within 6 months. When can we get someone like an intern? They go for those 6 months, find a payment plan or a loan that we can facilitate for them to go and study and then come back. Like ensuring even the people, they benefit from the business and they also learn and also grow. I don't want the business to just grow, but the people who are here, they're not growing. Everyone, we'd have meetings every single month. Where are you in your savings? Where are you want to start this business? So their growth is also very important to me. And I know it's very cliche to say it's family, we have a family, but it actually feels like a family. They're like my small sisters, small brothers. We sit together, share our dreams. Where I can support, I'm happy to. Where I can help support you through different channels, I will do it. Because they're helping me build a dream. Why not also contribute to that?
Yes, but I love that you are speaking about it, because there is the perception out there that young people are so hard to work with, especially these Gen Zs. People will be like, nah, I can't work with Gen Zs. They're just too complicated. But you are running a beautiful space full of Gen Zs, man. All of them are, apart from the chef, the majority, like 99% of them are Gen Zs. Able to help kutoa your perception kwa
They're
watu.
Very fun human beings to work with. Like if you're open-minded, maybe something that I struggled a bit at the beginning to understand them. But when you sit down and understand, listen to what they're saying, and also empower them to show them that this is ours, this is my dream. Yes, it started as my dream, but we can use it to also make your dreams come true.
Yes.
Making sure that there's an open flow where you can communicate freely. Also, you as a millennial, be open-minded, because you might be very fixated to viewing things like this. Because me, towels, I used to think, towels, we're just putting them like this, but they come up with different ideas. They want to test, they're adventurous, they want to do this and this. But if you just lock them and you're not nurturing that creativity and that they want that, you need to nurture it, but also find structures to make sure it's not blowing out of proportion. So just creating an environment where they can thrive, and you're empowering them at the same time and listening to them. And they're very fun. They will teach you things here, and they will do TikToks here. We dance, they challenge you on a certain belief here. They're very interesting human beings to work with, and very fun.
Yes. I just think people don't like that. They don't conform.
Yes, they don't.
They don't conform.
They will question. They will tell you, okay, why are we doing this way? You know, me, I've told you because I've said it's supposed to be like this.
Yes.
But they said, no, we can do it like this. It can be better. So you have to call yourself, okay, it can be better. It doesn't have to be my way.
Let's try your way.
They're the one in housekeeping. They've been doing this. They're the expert. Treat them as expert. They're the expert in that field.
Yes.
You are the expert in your field. So give them that. Listen to them. And be flexible. Don't be rigid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also loved the decor. I was going identifying a few nice pieces here and there. Who did the decor?
Myself, personally. Majority of these things are thrifted. Carpets, this I repurposed from my Airbnbs, this couch. Majority of these things, pesa ilisha Lynn. Ile nilikwambia nilipewa loan pesa, the money I was given for loan, it finished the construction. But a lot of finishing, I had to improvise, find creative ways to make sure that it looks nice, because Mimi aesthetics, it has to eat.
Yes.
So
you did a good job.
I went to Gikomba, I went to Toy, thrifted a lot of these pillows. The bed sheets I bought new, but I went to the most affordable places, Kamukunji, deep in Kamukunji. The tiles, I went to like a street in Kariokoko, Kombomu. I know those streets like the back of my hand.
Yes.
I needed the cost to be really low, so I did all the decor, all the finishing, everything. Yes.
And it turned out beautiful. Even the lights. Even the lights.
Yes.
Like you did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Man, let me ask now. Someone is watching this and they're like, okay, Lynn, ana charge aje.
Yeah.
How much do you charge? Like maybe off peak and peak season?
Peak season.
Yes.
So for locals, 5,000 per person per night. Mkiwa wawili, it's 10,000 per person per night. That is bed and breakfast.
Yes.
But if you want full board, we charge 1,500 per person per meal for a buffet meal.
Wait,
1,500.
Okay,
for the entire meal. If it's dinner or lunch, 1,500 per person for a buffet option.
All right.
And then for foreigners or non-residents, we charge $100 per room.
Yes.
$50 per person, $100 per room if you're two people. And then if you want full board, it's $160.
Okay.
Or $80 per person. Yes.
And business is good.
And business
I
is
could
good.
not even get
Me
you
God,
last month for this interview. I had to wait for like 1.5 months to have this conversation. I love that business is good for you.
Really
you
well.
deserve it.
Thank you.
You are deserving of all the good things that are happening. I think for me, I go home knowing I've met an African doing this in these spaces. Me, conservation and all these other topics are dear to my heart. There are a lot of injustices that I see happening in our country, matters, conservation, tourism, and I just love meeting people like you who are changing that narrative. So I'm so proud. And I hope just by watching this, you have inspired someone who has wanted to invest in this space. You know, the narrative that we don't have jobs. So, man, ikoko inje. But when you look at what we can be able to do with our resources, whether we are buying or leasing, also having come across someone like you who is doing this on leased property and seeing that it's achievable for so many people is quite inspiring. So I think it's an honor to have met you in these spaces. I'm one of those people who would come to these spaces and just see. I don't have anything against foreign-owned businesses, but I dislike when they dominate spaces that are beneficial to us as Africans. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. So seeing someone like you in this space has really made me happy.
And it is possible for everyone, for every Kenyan, it is possible. It is very doable.
It is very doable. Or how does the future look like for this space?
The future is very bright, but we don't want to expand.
Yes.
I don't want to run. My vision is not to own a hotel, chains and chains. I'm very contented if they're just 10. And then those 10 will help me build my slow life in a place in Nyeri or Nanyuki. That is the future of Ole Mayan. But also to maintain the standard, the way it feels homey, cozy, an escape for anyone who wants to come and relax. If I can maintain that standard for 10 cottages for the rest of the time the business is in operation, that is enough for me. I'm not chasing thousands and thousands of rooms or hundreds. 10 is enough for me, but the standard and how I make my guests feel when they're here, that is enough. That is the future, and I hope this can be a safe space for a lot of people to just come and retreat, enjoy. Even if you're not going for a game drive, you just come and relax here. We have zebras, giraffes roaming around, and just find your peace of mind. If I can offer that for the next 18 years, and the standard is okay, and we retain the standard as is, as I build my now slow living elsewhere, that I'll have achieved my dream.
That's your goal for
that
people
is my
to
goal.
come here and live when they are calm, peaceful,
grounded. I can offer that to as many people as possible. That is enough for me.
Good. How can people get into contact with you and your socials? I know they've been on the screen, but I love when a guest says, so that people know, that was the number, Lynn.
Yes, you can reach me on all platforms. Adventures by Mwihaki on Facebook, Adventures by Mwihaki on Instagram. But for the hotel, you can reach me at Ole Mayan Amboseli Cottages. We'll just write it down. Ole Mayan Amboseli Cottages on all platforms. Booking, you can book directly with us. 0723 234978. You can call our reservations manager, book directly. And also on Airbnb, or booking.com, you can search Ole Mayan Amboseli Cottages and you'll find us. Yes.
Good. And I almost forgot, in terms of maybe power and water.
Yes.
How do you go about that? I almost forgot that.
We are running we had a very idealistic dream to fully run on solar, and we did for the better part of the first year. But during the cold season, it's very cold and windy, it was not enough. So we got power as backup. So we are 70% most of the time. If it's solar, if it's very hot season, 100% on solar. But when it's cold and it's windy, when now it drains out, we have backup as electricity. Water, again, the community, I was blessed. I was aligned with the right community. I did not struggle. Initially, the water situation was a bit tricky. It was one of the challenges that we faced. But my neighbors have drilled visimas and wells, and they gave me water. We have a kidogo agreement, but it's not as much as what I would have paid by drilling myself or even buying water. So I've been supplied with the community, the water and electricity, mainly solar, but we have electricity as backup. Yes.
Good job, Mwihaki.
Thank you.
You know, I know you've inspired also people who love adventures. You were just telling me, and she said this as a by the Lynn. Nimeenda Kilimanjaro, nimeenda Mount Kenya. Casually, just like that. Kazi yako ni kusummit tu.
I am just an adventure. I'm just chasing the next adventure, and I want to instill the same for my daughter, to just want to explore and see what the world has to offer. Because exposure will help you a lot, because you'll see what is possible for others and want it to be also possible for yourself.
Another question that I'm always reminded to ask my guests is, what did you do in campus and how has it connected to what you're doing right now, if you don't mind?
There's no connection whatsoever. I am a trained farmer.
You are a trained farmer?
Yes, I did agriculture for 4 years, crop option. I have not practiced a day in my life farming. Hopefully, maybe when I retire, I might do a little bit of farming, but I have not done farming. I just transitioned into the corporate and did account management, sales, and then project management, and then tourism. There's no correlation with what I studied, but project management I did as an additional course in between my career, because that is now what I wanted to practice professionally. But mi ni mkulima Lynn, I'm a trained farmer.
Kuja tulime kanya
farm. Yes,
kunaweza kupea ka 10 by 10 hapo.
Yes, I put that knowledge.
You can remind yourself a thing or two.
I laugh about that a lot because I did that but I delayed because I started working early. I did that course for like 7 years, and it has never benefited me in any way.
Yes.
But I'm glad somehow it aligned and brought me to this now where I am right
It's
now.
gonna come. One day it's going to remind you,
Amen.
you studied me.
Yes.
This is why.
This is where you're using
This
it.
is where you're using it. But I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I want to wind up. Is there anything that you think you wanted to touch on that I've not touched on?
Yeah.
And if there isn't, maybe you could give our audience a very beautiful parting shot.
All right. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Lynn, first for this opportunity and coming here. And I'm hoping this is going to inspire a lot of, especially young people.
Yes.
It is possible. And if you do not know how to start, just start scared. And you can leverage on people that have gone ahead and are in the business. You can reach out to me. We can have a conversation. I can help you out here and there. But don't be scared to start. There are resources. There are people who have done this and they are very willing to help. So go
Yes.
do it and do it afraid.
Do it and do it
And do it
afraid.
Yes.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap for me as
Yes.
well. I've really had an amazing time coming here. Mimi akili yangu iko tu kwa chef anapika nini huko chini.
Tumewaandalia. Unasikia harufu?
Those are the perks of doing these
Yes.
shoots sometimes. But jokes aside,
Yeah.
I've really had an amazing time meeting you, meeting your team, vibing with Levi. I can tell even when people come here, they will be well taken care of
Yeah.
by that young man. So I also wish you the very best as you continue to pivot, as you continue to expand. And I think for me, my take home is live for now. Live for this very moment right here. And I hope, guys, we have done justice to this conversation. I want to know in the comment section what your take home has been. I love hearing from you. I'm reading your comments. By the way, when you see the reply on your comments and the love emojis, that is me. I'll just sit during the day for an hour or two just going through the feedback on our comment section, and I am actually the one personally engaging with you guys, so I really do appreciate that. Thank you for sharing your stories as well. Just like Mwihaki did, I always say, if you want to share your story along this theme that we are having for this year, please send us a brief of your story at info@lnn.digital or lynn.ngugi@lnn.digital, and who knows, maybe we'll be visiting you on our next conversation. For now, do check this place out. This is by no means an ad. This is me visiting spaces that I'm really finding inspiring and wanting to share those spaces with you as well. So check them out across their socials. Their details have been on your screen. And of course, I just want to say thank you for your recent feedback on our videos. I see Kellen and Sam, they really inspired you, and I will continue making sure that I bring such impactful conversations to you as we continue to reclaim our identity through the soil, and also learning and relearning together as we continue sharing these experiences. My name is Lynn Ngugi. How about I see you on our next episode? Bye-bye. Bye.